like when it really first started, it was like just out of like Boston. You could call, and that was a big deal.
Jesus, Macarena.
But it wasn't like. And when they finally crossed the US, that was like a huge deal. They all, yeah. Everything was. I mean, it was, yeah. Utah desert, they.
A little bit of town of Canida, which is 7 miles away from me. That was long distance. Because there was two different sets. But as the footprints.
Will you allow me to share screen?
But the footprints started overlapping.
Right, then.
And then we started doing what they call a class march.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, I remember when North Carolina.
Share screen.
Area code, I think it was 704. There's 252, 919, and 704. I may be wrong about the 252, but I know that was the only three areas.
Did it work?
So do you know if?
Yes.
If Rocky Mountain used to be a different area?
Yes. Rocky Mountain was definitely long distance.
Right.
That was a long distance call. And then we started cabling in. Then when the satellite worked its way in, and they started using towers. Then.
I love the one that you love.
All this
So
started
go ahead
going
and
on.
mute yours.
You're building towers and all that stuff.
All right, here you go.
I drew what they call as-built plans. Had to test all these things, basically everything with,
Yeah.
plans and all that kind of stuff. Not on computers, but most of it, it's called stubby pencil. And
Yeah.
hills and where, you had map reading was detrimental, had no terrain and foliage and all that kind of stuff, sunspot numbers, all that kind of stuff, because that had to do with all these towers having different frequencies. But now everything is about linked to one.
Yeah.
Now,
And we're used to being able, we're used to everything being unlimited, right? That you can just call it, doesn't matter where you're calling.
right now you can call Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Free. I mean, it's not that free,
Yes, but.
Local call, it's a local call.
But in your, right, I mean, it's, right, exactly, it's like, sort of the same as local.
The last I dealt with, I don't know what it is, footprints now are at least 2,000 miles. I remember when footprints were only 100 miles, 300 miles, how far your signaling equipment could go. But then when they jumped to satellite, most people think that when you call to, right now, let's say you call your Pizza Hut here, right now, a lot of people think that call will right from you there. So most of these calls, if the trunk was busy,
Right,
it'll hit and it may go through New York City and come back right here.
Yeah.
But see, that's what they call it, transparent to the user.
Right.
You never see that.
Yeah.
It's a split second. And sometimes if you ever dial, and this still happens right today, if you dial the phone and you hear busy right away, you didn't even get into the tower. You just call, you call and you get Dan or something like that, or that little iron woman come over and say, call Chip back, call Chip back, he's busy, I take a message, how you get all the messages now.
Yeah.
If you get that right away, you didn't go out. You're right there.
Yeah, just, yeah.
All right, we've got a few on.
So what do y'all tell me, y'all direct me?
We're still getting people in.
Y'all spoke to them? How many people got in?
2.
Do they see me?
Yeah, they see you.
Can they hear what we're saying?
Yeah, they can't hear you very well. Yeah. So speak like you're teaching, Barry. Speak at your teaching voice and let's see if they can hear us.
Okay, hello, everybody. Can you hear me out there? Can everybody hear? Raise your hand on there. Touch the screen so you can raise your hand. Raise your hand.
Let us know if you can hear us well.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey.
Hi,
you
how's
doing, Lynette?
everybody? All right, I can hear you now.
Right.
Great.
Are you coming to class today?
Yes, we're on our way.
Okay, tell Mr. Richard, please come see me.
Don't send us to in-school suspension. We're coming.
Right, tell him I have 4 things I need to discuss with him.
Okay.
4 things.
Okay. Who else out there can hear us? How about 40 acres, you there? 14 acres. Is that in Tyrone?
I'm here. I'm here.
Hey, welcome, Mr. Tyrone. How you doing?
Thank you. I can hear you just a little bit.
Can you hear me now? Am I better?
Say superfragilocalistic espialidocious.
I'm not allowed to use profanity. FCC rules.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
That's a little better. It's kind of, it's sort of faint, but that's, let me make sure I got my volume all the way up.
But I got
Check out your volume. I got one I want you to say, Tyrone. Please say, please ship me a shipment of city biscuits. Say that 4 times real fast.
I can't say S words. They don't come out right.
Don't do it, Tyrone. Don't do it, Tyrone.
S words don't come out right.
It came out right then. I said it. I know you can do it.
he don't even remember it right now. I don't even.
Barry said it slowly.
Yes, he did.
That was because of who I was talking to.
Yeah, I have
was
to
saying it
listen.
at a
I
slow
listen
level
slowly.
rate. I was speaking slowly. Tyrone don't get everything quick.
I listen slowly.
Okay. We're just trying to get everything tuned up here so we get ready to go.
And I'm just waiting to see if anyone else is gonna be coming in.
I think we can probably go ahead and get started, Barry.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and get started?
Yeah.
Okay, well, hello, everybody. Most of you guys we've talked to recently and everything else as others come in. What has gone on is this is our last day. I mean, it's not Armageddon or anything. I mean, this is our this is the end of our 16-hour course. And we're gonna do one more. We're gonna do a review based on those that want to be tested. And I got it set up where we can get tested here. Or for those that are a little bit further out, they can make arrangements with me and I will come to their area and test them. So anybody that's been coming in on Zoom, except those that are coming in more than 100 miles away. But those that are within the Raleigh area, if you're more than 50 miles away from Wesleyan, I will be able to still get you tested if you want to test. And that was for the certified test. But some people have used this, and you can use this and review with us to take the journeyman's test. But like I said, the journeyman test is only, you only can be tested at the state level when we have the conferences. And that way you can still get tested. But by using us and what we've done here as a study group, even though you already been certified, you can still use this in case you want to get tested under the as a journeyman. I'll get back with you. I'll let Ara put it out when the next state meeting is, or you can look on your website. Those of you that are members of the North Carolina State Beekeepers Association, look on your on that website and it'll tell you when the next meeting is. So those of you who want to get tested, I know we got one that's going to be tested again. Now again, they're going to be tested at the very next state meeting. Aaron, do we have, you put it out too, asking those about being tested, that wanted to be tested?
Yeah, I have one person.
You got one person?
Keisha.
Okay, you gotta get 2.
Well,
No,
me.
I'm not gonna come over down here to test one person.
This year.
No, But no, be honest with you, I will test from 0 to 1,000 people at one time, but we can get everybody tested. And so what we're gonna do today, we're gonna kind of jump around here. We're gonna go ahead and finish. We're gonna go back to the hive inspection. We're gonna watch that. And then we're gonna, if we have time, we may hit a few review things. What we do, I recommend everybody review. If you want to be tested. And because really setting up the test is not easy, and I hate to see you fail. The other thing is, you gotta make sure you're a member of the North Carolina State Beekeepers Association. Everybody I know right now that's been in this group, they are. That's about the only requirement right now. And other than, that's the only way you can get a test. The tests do not cost anything physically, what I'm saying. But if you have to pay the $15 in order to be a member of the state association, in order to receive a test or in order to do anything from the administrative side. There's a lot of work, but they don't, I'm saying that because I don't want you to think that the test costs $15. The test do not cost $15. Just you need to be a member. And that fee of $15 have been there for over 15, 20 years. So it's not subject to inflationary costs. Do everybody understand that? Oh, man. So
Yes,
I'm gonna take this silence as compliance. Right?
yes.
Okay, so what we're gonna do right now, while we kind of wait a little bit, we're gonna go ahead and start this. You may have, I think we went somewhere on that. Did you?
Yeah, we're right here where we started before, 15-12.
Okay, let's put this, I'm gonna put this back.
I don't, did anybody didn't see the beginning last week? I mean, the last class, if not, we'll just take it back just a little bit, just take it back a couple of frames.
Kind of see. And see, they're working from the side, but she's probably gone
Let us
down
know
to the
and
bottom.
we'll stop doing this.
But I hear the sound has gone up, so I'm trying not to
Did everybody hear this?
cause much problems. I'm not gonna take that look along, look at this one because they do have some on this side. And this is, like I said, a time that you want to be careful. You don't want to bust the cells or anything like that. Did I get those? I've been in that one, right? Look at this one.
Yeah, you looked at that one.
Okay, let's put this. I'm gonna put this back. I don't want them really to get riled up too much. I'm gonna put this back. Put the glue pretty much right back where it was. That's me taking a smell. I don't see any concave. Look right here where. And that look like that's one about to be born. He's about to come out of there. They're coming out. They're chewing their way out. Those drones, those larvae right there. They're not larvae. They're, like I said, they're chewing their way out. They're the next one to be hatched.
And do we know if
They're female.
okay.
The bullet ones are the
Yeah, right.
boys.
And the males are going to be a lot bigger. Or Chip, I'll leave that up to you. I want you to come to the hive and ask. If you
Last week, there was like a
I was muted.
Give us a second.
male or female, you know? Somebody got to know.
Yeah.
Give me that. calmed down somewhat, so I guess that alcohol that you drank last night got him coming. I definitely want you to put a Swiffer in the middle of this and
Sure, yeah.
definitely. So you don't have any scissors?
Not with us, no.
Okay, so you came to the beehive with no scissors.
Yep, well, next time we.
Don't worry, next time we'll have them.
Stock chip, 10 points. No scissors. Go ahead. I'm not pick that thing up, man. I'm 69 years old.
Oh, please.
Whoa,
Never
take
worked
it
a
easy.
beehive before in his life.
Do that. Do that. Do that. Put it on the side just like that. Easy. On top of the honey, on top of the queen screw. Set it on top of there. There you go. Try not to put too much on the ground. This don't look well. Okay. Now here's another thing I'm looking at. I'm trying to look and see if there are any queen cells in between here. There's not. But like I said, they're gonna build queen cups. Don't worry about that. They're gonna do that. But if you find, like I said, a lot of times if you find them close to like this hive here, it's got a lot of bees. If I found a queen cell in here, you got the extra equipment, I would take that queen cell out because it's already got nurse bees on it. And then I would also take out another frame with nurse bees that's taking care of brood, and I would shake it in there, put it over in that. Then I put some more frames and go put that over there.
Would that, well, I could take them to my house.
Yeah, you do.
All right, so she still can't hear. How about Tanya? Can you hear?
Stock chip, 10 points. No scissors. Go ahead. I'm not pick that thing up, man. I'm 69 years old.
Oh, please.
Whoa,
Never worked
take
a
it easy.
beehive before in his life.
Do that. Do that. Do that. Put it on the side just like that. Easy. On top of the honey, on top of the queen screw. Set it on top of there. There you go. Try not to put too much on the ground. This don't look well. Okay. Now here's another thing I'm looking at. I'm trying to look and see if there are any queen cells in between here. There's not.
I am muted
Okay, I
now.
was muted. Okay, can y'all hear us talking? Hello?
Can anyone hear us talking?
Hello?
Yes, they can hear us talking,
Y'all hear us
but
talking?
it is very low.
Okay, so I'm gonna play this and see if they can hear it.
All right, stand by, she's gonna play it and see if you can hear it.
Alright. But like I said, they're gonna build queen cups. Don't worry about that. They're gonna do that. But if you find, like I said, a lot of times if you find them close to like this hive here, it's got a lot of bees. If I found a queen cell in here, you got the extra equipment, I would take that queen cell out because it's already got nurse bees on it. And then I would also take out another frame with nurse bees that's taking care of brood, and I would shake it in there, You know, put it over there, then I put some more frames
Would-
and go put that over there.
Would that, well, I could take them to my house.
Yeah, well, you don't want them exposed that long. Yeah,
Did everybody hear that?
Just sent the message.
Are you going out on the same chair?
Yeah,
Or are you going in the same?
I was gonna say, is this?
in progress.
You try doing this. Once you're doing the screen share, and advance that, and just like this.
We're doing a little troubleshooting here, trying to get this audio right.
Right on my phone, you hear it?
40 acres says better, Lynette says no, hear you.
I think Lynette's phone is
So quick share screen.
inexpensive, that's the word, little inexpensive phone.
We're working on it, guys.
So I think it might be.
She says, I can hear you. Okay.
So the next year,
That's what she said. Well, roll.
you could take them to your house.
Well, no, I have a box that I can bring.
they didn't hear that part.
So would that be advisable at this time of year?
But like I said, they're gonna build queen cups. Don't worry about that. They're gonna do that. But if you find, like I said, a lot of times if you find them close to like this hive here, it's got a lot of bees. If I found a queen cell in here, you got the extra equipment, I would take that queen cell out because it's already got nurse bees on it. And then I would also take out another frame with nurse bees that's taking care of brood, and I would shake it in there, you know, put it over there, then I put some more frames and go put that over there.
Would that, well, I could take them to my house.
Yeah, well, you don't want them exposed that long. Yeah, you could take them to your house.
Well, no, I have a box that I can bring. So would that be advisable at this time of year?
Usually not in August, but if you're gonna keep them close and you don't mind feeding them, I would. They'll make you another hive. This won't hurt. This won't knock them back that much. Taking about 5 frames out.
Let's do that next time, you guys. What do you think?
Yeah, you make sure I'm present with that. Make sure
2
I'm
weeks.
present with that.
Maybe 3 weeks.
Give them a little spray down here real quick. They're getting a little big. I'm gonna probably leave them alone.
And you should put them a mile away, correct?
Well, you can do what we call a walk-away split. I just did that the other day. Where I split them, I set them right beside. And then I got the use of that field force still coming in helping both hives, but I made sure there's plenty of nurse bees over in the split. That's a class. We're going to talk about that, making nukes.
If everybody still can hear, what I was saying is about making a walkaway split is you're gonna take nurse bees out of the parent hive and put over in the new hive that you're making, or what we call the new. And you're gonna put those bees over there. But then what you're gonna do, you're gonna sit it side right close, not real close, but you can sit side by side. Some of those bees are still gonna come back in and work with bringing in pollen and everything to both hives. And so that helps. But if you've got a queen cell, as I was talking about here, you got a queen cell, you put it over there, make sure you put plenty of nurse bees over there because they're going to keep taking care of the brood. And there's a queen cell, they're going to finish taking care of that. But they were developed into 2 separate hives right there. So those are one of the main things. Now, but what Ira was asking me about the moving them a mile away, yes, that works too. I've done that many a times, but a lot of times I was just making a new with another queen. I was just going to put another queen in it. So I would take it 2 miles away or whatever, so they don't go back to the parent box. So either one of those ways are fine. Either one of those answers are fine, especially during the test. All right, you go ahead, go for it.
I don't want to get people confused right now. I don't want to get too far out ahead of them. Now this was a frame that has hatched out. That's why you see is, and look at all that, see? They're doing what they're supposed to do. This is a frame that have hatched out and they filled it with nectar.
What we're talking about here, now that's honey, all that is capped. That's capped honey right here. And this is one of the good things. All the shiny stuff you see here, that's wet nectar. That's the nectar that the bees are still bringing in. The only reason I would go through a hive like this during this time is the wet nectar will not encourage the bees. You see that they got plenty of resources. So any hive near should, the other hive that we checked to have plenty of resources. So they won't try to steal or rob each other out. They don't stress the bees. So, but when you got plenty of wet nectar, as I stated several times, the bees are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Everything is going right. As this hive, as you can see, this is their stores right here. This is their stores in that. And these were spaces where there was eggs and brood and everything that have hatched out. Now they've been cleaned up and they're putting wet nectar into it. So now this whole frame, the next time as it goes forward, will be just like this. That'll be capped honey. When it's capped like this is ready to eat right now. This honey is. Okay, go ahead.
With nectar. Okay. They're doing what they're supposed to do. There's probably those that would question it. Are you coughing? You smoking too much?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's one of the things I used to tell guys is, how long do you smoke bees? I said, until I hear them cough. But you don't have to smoke them that long. I just, like I said, I'm only trying to get rid of the pheromones, the attack pheromones. Let me take this one out again. I want to do something. People say, well, look at there, man. He's taking it out. He could have rolled the queen.
Oh, look at that mess.
Yeah, look at this.
Beautiful picture, queen cells. These are queen cells being built right here. There's something in that one. I don't think there's anything in that one, but basically now this is about midway that frame. So that's not a swarm cell. If this was closer down to the bottom, that's a swarm cell. This is, please pay attention to what I'm saying here. This is like a little bit halfway or more than halfway. Sometimes it'll be closer up to the top, or sometimes I've seen them all the way up to the top. This is a supersedure. When they start having supersedure cells, sometimes it tells you that queen pheromones, every time she lays an egg, there's a pheromone, she lets off a pheromone. If the pheromone starts getting down low, they know, it automatically tells the other worker bees that they need to do this. They'll start setting up to supersede that queen. If that same cell is found down here at the very bottom, that's a swarm cell. That's telling you it's overcrowded and the bees are getting ready to swarm, or there may be a disease in here, there may be a problem in here. But the bottom line is, when that's on the bottom of the frame, they're getting ready to leave. So I would tell anybody, if you're looking at a frame and it's below halfway, that's more like, that's a swarm cell. And you can remove these. Now, I think people still get confused about this. Should I take that out and reuse it and put it in another hive? I can do that. And no matter where, as long as I don't put it on the bottom, I can take one of these from the bottom, which was a swarm cell. But if I attach it to another frame and I put it up here, it becomes a supersedure cell, or it would hatch into a queen. It's wherever it's located determines when the queen comes out and determines whether they're going to swarm or supersede. I hate to use the word supersede because if I put it in another hive, basically you're just going to get a virgin queen born and they're going to go ahead and stay there. They're a superseding spot. All right, go forward.
Yeah, they're trying to swarm on you.
There's stuff in that
Yeah,
one.
there you go. But see, right now I need and these are supersedures. They're not on the bottom. This is time, so she might be running out. Now look.
So she might be just replacing herself. There's two with stuff in them.
Now this is, yeah, there's three. There's three here. Well, just what I'm saying is, what happens is, and we're gonna have to come back in here. We're gonna have to get the equipment ready, and we need to come back. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this up there, and so we don't have to go so deep.
Okay.
We're gonna come back, and we're gonna need to get those out of here, but we're gonna use them. And we're gonna make sure. You see, these majority here, they're nurse bees.
And when should we do that? Next week?
I would say by tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Or the next day. We need to
Okay.
get this done soon. I don't want them queens to hatch out. But
Well,
this is the
I can do
story
it
that tell you.
tomorrow.
See it like this? You got this, this, and this. The first one that hatches out will kill the other ones and tear down, and start them tearing down that cell. Yeah, and that's what that comes from is either her pheromones was not getting down deep enough. Yeah, but that was not going to swarm. It's just it's going to replace the queen. And I don't think we want that right now. Because I don't know what the drone population is around here, and that's something I got to check into too. Because if you get a virgin queen, how's she going to get mated?
There's some drones right
Yeah.
there, right?
No, that's not it.
These ones? These...
Yeah, those are drones. I think you told me those by myself. Yeah, those are drones too. So remember, we don't want them mating with these drones, right?
Right.
That's the thing they do in, I can't think of the name of that state, but I'm not going to say it. Yeah, we need some, you got to make sure there's some drones around, which it is. It should be. But well, these will be all right. Those will be all right, because those are drones next door. It's not the same time. They'll be all right. You hear me keep saying I'm going to leave them alone, but they're fascinating because they're doing things I want to see. I'm not worried about it. This would be a good frame to find her in if she's up here. I see something. I see some evidence of what she's doing. This side here got a lot of wet nectar. You see, I sit some over there and put something like this. As long as I got some room without trying to make sure I don't. My first and foremost is don't roll that queen. Because now you create a whole nother problem for yourself. This would be a good frame to find her on. That she may be on.
What is that? Is that the sister?
That's a genetic sister.
It's not quite long.
What Arrow was pointing at them when she was looking at that frame, it was still a worker bee, but it was larger than the other worker bees. And this is what we call genetic sisters. Genetic sisters, I guess you could look at it in terms of being half sisters or whatever. Remember, when the queen mates with like 19 different males. So all the worker bees don't come from the same dad. So some of the drones, some of the queens, I mean, not queens, some of the worker bees are going to be larger. Some of them are larger and almost look like drones. And but that's how we refer to them as genetic sisters.
So they're genetic sisters with each other.
Yes, really. So the drones have long been dead. Their dads have long been gone on. And as the queen lays later on, she still have the progeny from that male she's laid. Go ahead.
Right, there you go. That's the main thing right there. Look at that. Look at take a picture of the larvae. I don't know if it's going to pick it up, but I do see some eggs. So she's in here laying. I wish she was more prolific, but you know, wish in one hand. She's not in here. Not that I see. I always look at twice. And sometimes they give her away. The attendant bees that's trying to attend her, they'll be running right with her. And then I'll see them and I'll say, oh, she must be in the middle. She'll be telling, go back, stop. And they be running right with her. Especially when it's days that I'm requeening. That's when she don't want to be found. So that's a bad thing that could happen to her that day. This is a good frame to find her on. And look, I hold it down like that because 9 times out of 10 when they run that way, run to the top. Did you guys know that? Mm-hmm. That's one of my secrets.
What's up with this little tiny one? Is it a baby? Oh, it's right there. It's going on the other side.
Wait a minute.
Oh, it's right there. It's going on the other side.
Kind of buffer. It's buffering.
You pointed at that area.
That's what I was looking
That look like a newly born. Look like
Side.
look like his wings are not even dry. That was never been too long for him.
And I've had them do that, hang out right there on that edge. And when I go to the other side like this, they run down on this side. And
There's
this,
a little very light one right there. What is that one?
no, the bee,
Just different?
just a bee.
Just different looking than
Another
the other one?
genetic system.
That's great answer.
That's the only reason they make them different. You got some light and some dark. I'm surprised I didn't find her on this. This one really surprised me.
What's going on over there?
If you've been drinking beer, don't do this. The light blow, sometimes they'll move.
What happens if you drink beer?
You don't want to smell that alcohol in your breath. I don't. Come here, beer drinker. But anyway, where what?
Oh, a ball dropped.
Just a
Okay,
ball
yeah,
drop.
that's why. And look, that's another reason to hold your frames over the hive, just in case she was in that group of bees that just fell. They fell into the hive. That didn't hurt them. They're paratroopers. That didn't hurt them. We didn't do this one kind of well here. So we only found that one frame, so that's not bad. Oh, dear, you can find it. Oh man, she I don't know why they trying to, but she's laying well. See, I see evidence of her work. So that's I see eggs, I see larvae, I see all stages. And see, the nurse bees are trying to cover that brood and stuff up to keep it warm. Then that's one of the reasons you don't stay in a long time. And this tells you, this is what, when you say, somebody tells you to get some nurse bees, this is where you want the bees to come from. This is at their stage of life where they're, you know, there's different cycles they go through. And when they're in the nursing stage,
What is this?
that's nothing. It looked like a queen cell they were trying to start. You'll see a lot of weird stuff they try to build. You see all the white larvae down there. I was hoping we could at least see some eggs. But you see, that's her work. She's doing her work. So we don't necessarily have to see her. I would love to see her, but you don't necessarily have to see the remnants of what she's doing. And the reason I'm doing this too is just in case she is on that frame and I didn't see her, I don't want her to crawl off. Because I have been in beehives and been in a rush and have dropped a frame that had the queen on it. I mean, this is possible. So these things are possible. You can have all those. Any one of those you see, you can have them. They're free of charge. Now you can turn this either way you want to. I just turn it this way. I do things, and sometimes people say, "Well, why do you do that?" Or what? Now that's just me. There's no book that tells you, but they do ask you to try to turn them like this so you can get a good sight, and you're not busting cells or anything. See that bee? Did you see that bee catch that hive beetle? Now see, that's great behavior. See right there? But see right there, she's trying to fight it, but see the shell is so hard. She can't do anything with it. See, it come back out. Look at how she attacked it. See?
Good, yeah.
That's what you want. You want. But see, that's why the swiffer cloth, the bees will run away from that. I mean, not the bees, the hive beetle will run away from that, and they will run up under that cloth. But see, that's what you want. You want that type. You want bees to do that.
Yeah, when you talk about,
That's part of the genetic behavior. A lot of people think genetic behavior is all taught to bees or all bred into bees. Resistant.
Louder.
there's a bee, the Russian bee. Those bees are known to scratch like a dog. So what happens is, any varroa mite that own them, they scratch it off. So these are different behaviors. One of the way I used to check behavior is hygienic behavior. I used to drop a little piece of paper in there. And I'd close the box up and I'd go on down and I'll start working another box. But most of the time when I come back, that little piece of paper, they're taking it all the way down and taking it out of the hive. That's part of genetic behavior. The thing where the bees are trying to fight the hive beetles, that is a behavior. And that's what you want in your bees. And but they just can't. The hive beetle got a shell on it like a ladybug, and bees have a mandibular jaw. That means they unhinge. When they press on something real hard, their jaw unhinge. So you hear people tell you stories like a bee bit me. Honeybees can't bite you. Bee bit into that peach. No, the peach already was either overripe right there, and there was nectar coming out of it, and the bees just started taking the nectar. They don't bite into anything. But the one thing I stopped this for is there are other beetle traps that you can get that you put in the hive, and as the bees are chasing them, they will hide up under this, and when they try to hide up under there, there's a chemical under there that can kill the hive beetles. So these are different things you can use. But to show you how things morph and change, over the years, I've learned that now hive beetles have gotten smart. The honeybee, the worker bees chasing them will put them what we call in hive beetle jail. It will run the bees all the way over in one corner in the lid, and the bees will guard them and keep them in so they can't get out. But now the hive beetle has learned what their behavior. And when drones, because drones can't take care of themselves, I hate to say that, but the males can't take care of themselves. And when the males want something from the female, they reach out and they stroke the female antennae, and the females will feed them. Well, hive beetles have learned that same behavior. So while they're in jail, they'll call that female house collect. I don't know if that ever happened about humans, but anyway, as the female bees are walking by, one of the hive beetles will reach out and stroke her antenna, and she'll feed. So that's one of the things but that behavior, you can see it. If you ever, sometimes you'll open up a hive and you see like most of the hive beetles all in one little corner. That's because the bees got them in hive beetle jail. Those are some of the things that goes on in the hive. But that's a behavior that they found out and I've seen in the hive over the many years that I've worked out there. But I never knew that in the beginning, but now I know that hive beetles can fool the females into feeding them. Used to be right around October time frame, which always happened. The bees are very practical. What they will do is they will not take unnecessary stuff through the winter, which is males. Males serve no purpose in the wintertime. There's no mating going on. There's nothing. And to show you how the seasons have changed, I used to see this in September, and I used to see this in October. Before the first frost, the female would start, when a male would touch her antenna and say, hey, feed me, she's, what are you doing here? She grab him, take him, and throw him on the outside. And the females that were guard bee, the attendants, the guard bee, will not let those males back in. And so a lot of time as the weather starts getting colder, you will find drones on the outside that are dead, frogs that are eating them, ants that are gotten. But I've been in as late as November and December, and I found a male in there. And I mean, I said, boy, you slick. Slick here in the wintertime. But bees they will not, they're just practical. There's no need. And then as the pollen starts coming in around January, the red maple start coming in, the queen they start feeding the queen that pollen, and she thinks, oh, it's spring. So she'll start laying males then. Yes.
Does the drone have any purpose at all?
Yes, the drone is in charge of the hive. He's the head of the household. So I'm only being facetious there. There's really, that's why they get rid of them. They serve no purpose in the wintertime. I know on the little bee stories, we see that the male is protecting the hive, the male is, going out foraging and all that. Male bees do not forage, if you want to call it foraging, when they beg for food from the female. But drones don't serve a purpose outside of the hive other than the best part. They make sure the next generation of bees come. They got the best job, but that job, so yes.
So, out of so many drones that she does bear, how many make it to mate with the queen?
To be honest, there's only so many days that they're in a period where they can actually produce young. I'll have to give you the dates on that. I don't have the date right now on top of it, but there's only so long. But I hate to say fertile period, but their period is not that long. So a lot of them is still standing around with no purpose. And I guess we said in the Army, we used to call it when you we have a cook-off when you fire around and all this stuff. You don't go, we used to call it a popping no kick. So a lot of the males are popping no kick at that time, even though they're still living, and they still will chase a virgin queen. If they catch it, they're useless. So, but that's part of the mating cycle that goes on, but that's nothing to do with males in general, okay? But when they come in this, when they come in the beehive, that's basically what happens. But usually near the winter time, they take the males out. And so, like I said, some of them do survive. But right around, I know in January in this area, the red maple start coming into bloom and everything, and the bees start getting pollen. The queen starts getting pollen in, and she's being fed that pollen. But she's being fed that pollen through royal jelly. Now, I want everybody to understand that she's not getting pollen straight, getting pollen through the royal jelly coming from the young bee. But anyway, as she's doing that, now as a commercial pollinator, one of the things I would do and still do is I do a pollen supplement, especially in January. I'll start putting pollen in these hives to get that queen. That's why I say I push them hard. I'll get that queen to start laying, but you don't want her to lay too much, because if the temperature drops and the cluster gets smaller, all that brood that's outside that cluster will die. You know, so you got to be careful with that. But that's just one of the things of reading the hives, like we're doing, like we're showing you guys how to do now, is that. I'll give you one more, that's it.
So when you say they go into the cluster,
Right.
and outside that cluster passes away, what could happen with all of that cluster passing away?
But you're talking the brood that is left out.
That's left
outside.
out.
Once they expand, you know, when the weather's nice and plenty of pollen coming in, but then, and she's laying.
Right.
But now what happens is if it gets cold, say the temperature drop down to 18 degrees or something like that, and they deflate, they go back in, everything that's left outside dies. It gets cold and free. But then the bees, it's their responsibility, these worker bees, they'll take all those dead larvae out and everything else, and you start seeing that in front of your hive. But that's one of the main things.
But if that doesn't happen, what are some of the diseases that
Oh, you
come
get
from?
foul. Sure, you get foul brood, you get American foul brood, European foul brood. Those are some of the things not Jerry, but Adolph was talking with us about. Some of those things can start happening. Sac brood, all of that. That's when you when you open up the hive, you'll smell that. If it's foul brood or sac brood or something like that, you're gonna smell it. If there's anything going on in here that's not right, it smells. A hive should smell of pollen, should smell of bee bread, and all this stuff. It just, to me, it smells good. But if I smell anything, that's, you know, it'll bring it to your attention, to include when they get mad. Like I said, the lemon and all that stuff, you'll start getting it. But I think I'm going a little too far on that. But anyway, that's what happens in the hive when it comes to the drones and everything else. All right, go ahead.
I like the
All right, I'm gonna put this back together.
cleanliness of their behavior sort of thing. That's one of the things that you want.
So what
Yeah.
kind of frame do you want to put down in that bottom one? Like a fresh frame from the top box?
Nah,
Chip,
Yeah,
you
why don't
wanna
we take one from John?
grab a top?
I'm gonna get one from over there. You do a chip. That's grunt work. This is stuff that the students should be doing, not me.
So do you want like an empty one or?
Either one. You make a choice. Don't
I
you-
would do an empty one
Yeah. And why would you do an empty one?
so that they'll build that box better because this box is doing good.
Yeah, this would be good. Let's put this one up top.
So we're just gonna put this in here?
Yeah.
They're right down in there. I'm gonna face them back here, man. Here you go. Put that one there, and there.
This is gonna go in the middle one, right? Or no, it's going
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, we'll
Doesn't
put it in
matter.
the top
We gotta
box.
come back and get that one. As soon as she's ready, I just don't want it to. I mean, we can use those sales. That's what I'm saying. Especially when you're frugal and a queen costs between $30 and $40, and she haven't even been proven yet. I don't have any problem with buying queens, but I will buy them. But I just want you to know that when you find queen sales and stuff like that, you can use them. Let's do this. Here you go, Chip.
You all right?
You guys see what I just done? I raked those beads back in there with my hand. So the problem with that is not having a bead brush. A lot of equipment was missing during this time, and I blame Chip and Arab for not having it there. But a bead brush, usually a bead brush works a lot better than your hand. You stand less chance of killing beads. Yeah, you smush them, roll it, with your hand. But I did it very gently. But it's nice to have a bead brush and stuff, especially when you can ready to put these back together. I don't know if I should talk to you guys about this right now. What happened? This was on a Wednesday, right?
It was on a Thursday.
A Thursday. It was on a Thursday. We did this on a Thursday. And that frame that we took out that had those queen sails on, one of those queen sails, the one we really were looking at was the longest one, and it was open on the bottom. Ara and I came back on a Sunday. So from Thursday to Sunday, we found out that they had already closed up that queen. They were ready, that queen was ready to go. And that's when we took that out and made another nuke by using that queen sail and using the nurse bees and all of that stuff. So between Thursday to Sunday, they had gotten a lot of work done. And we took that frame, as you see what we're doing here, that frame that had the queen sail, we put it in the very top box. So when Aaron and I came back, we didn't have to go all the way down to the bottom, tear the beads all apart again, just to get that frame out. So what we done, we put it up top, came back, took out what we need from the top. And Aaron, didn't you drive away with your bee suit on?
I took the head off.
Yeah.
No, they were in the trunk. They were-
She put them in the trunk. That's a rookie move. All the bees in your trunk. But I'm not giving them credit for that.
It worked great.
Yeah, there you go. And but that hive is going on. She's been keeping an eye on it and everything else. So, but we got to make sure, we got to check, look for brood, make sure she's laying.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance.
And the good thing about taking them out to where ours is, those bees, we don't have to worry about any inbreeding, which you most time, 99% of the time, you don't have to worry about any inbreeding. Those drones that are at Arab's farm is completely separate from these bees. They're miles away. So basically, Arab brought a virgin queen into that area where all those drones are. So the chances of success of that queen getting mated and getting back to the box went up with that. You can go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
Of course, we're early on with bees, but I have not noticed that they have ventured out up towards the high tunnel or the garden or anything like that. Is that normal?
It depends on what's flower.
Okra,
They use the flower, they will get, okra is kind of deep, flower is, but they will get it.
and tomatillo
Flowers,
flowers,
Small
yellow,
flower,
yellow
okay.
flowers.
they get it, they probably get it out of it. Oh, they won't swarm on it now.
Uh-huh.
It's just like in the cucumber field. I walk down the cucumber field and these stories go together. Mount Olive pickles. I pollinated for farmers that actually sell to Mount Olive pickles. Mount Olive pickles will come and walk your farm. They walk down the roads, they're looking for bees. If they don't see enough bees, they go back to the farm and let them know. You need to either get some more bees or that guy is not renting, the bees are not pollinating. Same with what you said. And they don't change it by adding no more bees, they lose that contract.
can you please tell them the difference in the times of them flying and pollinating that said plant? Because that plant, the nectar and the pollen might be there, but the nectar comes at a different time.
No, yeah. She learned that being a pollinator. Okay, that pollen is not in the flower all day long. The nectar is not there. And that's another thing too, depending on what time of day. Early mornings, should see something. As it gets later into the evening, say 2, 3 o'clock, your overachievers might be still out there flying around, but the nectar goes away. And some flowers start closing up. And that's more the correct answer to what you asked me. It's just nothing. And by 5 o'clock, most bees have quit. Like I said, you got your overachievers that are still flying back and forth, but majority of the bees have gone back to the hive. And as the sun goes down more, the bees are not out pollinating. So just pick your time of day to watch. I went right to the real stuff. That's play stuff. Well, no, it's not play stuff. That's understandable. That is same thing. I'll tell you the same thing with watermelon. Watermelons, you only got so many days that they got to be pollinated. If there may be flowers still on the vine, but if they're not within that range, there's no nectar in them. So even if bees go to them, not gonna help.
Can you tell what makes a straight cucumber?
Pollination. Pollination, that's one of the good things about pollination. You don't get the ugly fruit. If the flower been planted, been pollinated right, you don't get the ugly fruit, you know, like the bent cucumber or we've had squash with 3 squashes growing together and things like that. A lot of deformed plants come like that. Or if your melon, or you're growing breakfast melon, the melon only get about that size. When you thought it was going to be about that size, that's usually haven't been pollinated. One of the things in the world of pollination, we pollinated some in Fountain. Was the first time I found out there was male watermelon and female watermelon, that they would plant 3 rows, 4 rows. They plant, I think it was 3 rows of female watermelon and 1 row of male watermelon down the middle. And then that way they will make it sure that the male watermelon will be up bottom pants, had an afro, all the male watermelon.
So how did you know that from the seed?
I don't know, the farmers do, But listen, I got to get that name for
Are
it.
you sure they were just lying to you?
No, that's
No,
true.
it
It's
really
true.
is.
No, that's true. The male watermelons, there's 2 types. One of them turn to mush. They're not picked. Just leave them in the field, they turn to mush. Then now they got one. Now they got a male watermelon that can be harvested. But that's true. Wait, you guys are college. You don't know that. And there's a male watermelon and a female watermelon, and that's 100% true. You got to check out on that
No,
chapter.
I knew that. I just didn't know about the seeds.
Yeah.
They could tell me how they
Maybe
tell
the
me.
seeds are bigger than
It is. Yeah, that's it. See, Mr. Hewlett is a farmer, and he just gave the right answer. He said the male seeds are bigger than the female seeds. They're more muscular, right? They're more top here. Somebody going to jail about this. Anyway, the male, let me calm down. Anyway, there are male melons, and they all look alike. But you can, the male melons will start, those one that turn to mush, they'll start disintegrating well before the female melons. The female melons are still going on to ripe.
Okay, that's why I lost one now.
Yeah,
So is it safe to say that whatever is in more abundance in nectar and in pollen, that's where the bees go?
and I'll break it down and explain that to you a little bit more. Yeah, you know, like I do what they call varietal honey. And a lot of people say, well, how do you know what bees are bringing in? That's part of horticulture. You just gotta know what's in season. That's what she just said. if there's more, gotta do gallberry honey. If there's more gallberry honey, there's more pollen and nectar on the gallberry, the bees are going to that. If there's more pollen and nectar on the strawberries, the bees are going to that. And it's that certain period. On an average, cucumber and watermelon they need within 6 to 8 weeks, that's when they're pollinated. That's how the farmers rent them. They want a 6 to 8 week period. So that's when they know that the main pollen and nectars are going from those plants that they want pollinated. And so that's what makes us scientists, horticulturalists, kings like I am and stuff like that.
So I have a cucumber on the vine that is round and fat and short. So it has not been pollinated enough.
Well, like if it's deformed, yeah.
Mhm.
If it's it's gonna be deformed, it's because of that. There's no pollination. Same thing with strawberries. If you got a field with large strawberries, nice, beautiful, juicy strawberries, they've been well pollinated. If not, they're usually small, hard. When all the rest of them are still getting nice and juicy and everything else, but you got one that you pick it and it looks like it's red enough, but you pick it and it's hard. Blueberries do the same thing. Blueberries are the same way. Hard blueberries, when everything else on the vine, not vine, but everything else on the bush is ready to go. You hit the bush, the blueberries fall off, but those ones that stay back haven't been pollinated yet. They're not ready. Who had a question? Man, I had me on the road there, man. I love talking pollination. But anyway, and all those things are tested. You gotta understand what you're doing out there. You gotta be able to read that high. If you can't read this, you are a bee hacker. You're not a beekeeper, you're a bee hacker. If you can't read this, you are a bee hacker. Yes.
I got
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can't get it back in that place and can't
That's
see anything.
right, that's a rookie problem.
Yeah,
You notice my head haven't came off.
yeah.
I got it glued, it's glued to my head. See? You don't have that problem. I don't have that problem. See, that's just you.
All right.
How much time have we taken?
So 4:05.
Okay, good.
I just want you to know that when you find queen cells and stuff like that, you can use it. Let's turn this way. There you go. The way I see them, I just want to kind of put it right there near the brood, because that's where I saw them running. Okay. That's one of the other things you do. Be careful, tip it over, and try to get it by the handles. And then pick it up. And then
There's some on the bottom.
we're good. Good. This is where a bee brush really comes in handy. Wonder why.
I forgot my bee brush today.
There you go. Put it on down.
And now, are we gonna put another Swiffer? on
Yes.
top of here?
I would. It can't hurt, and there's no medicine on it, so it's just there to kill hive beetles. That's all.
Yeah.
So you can put as many as you want. I mean, don't stack them up like this. Do it the
On
same
the
way.
side like this?
Yeah, I think most of the brood was over that way. Okay, now put that back on. Here, give these bees a spray and mind your business. I'm sweating hard, that's why I get a lot of pheromones coming from me too. And Chip is replacing the hives. The high bodies, he's replacing them. And these are deeps, these are high bodies. These are the same word, a lot of people use it. The same word, high body, deep, deep super. They're talking about this, no matter which word they use. This will hold about 90 pounds of honey. If that all over full of honey, that's about 90 pounds. When you get to be my age, we don't worry about that no more. I don't.
What about that little bit of grass in there?
No, they'll take it out. Remember, if there's any foreign objects in there that's not really like big sticks or nothing, you don't have to worry about. Bees will take that out. I got a piece of grass that's in there, they'll get it.
So
They'll get it or prophyllize it.
another Swiffer on the top? Another Swiffer or?
I wouldn't put one in.
Okay.
You got two in there. Most everything was down bottom.
Yeah, they're not up top yet.
This is where and I put the Chip, can't leave Chip out because like I said, he did all the heavy lifting. But this is where we put that other frame with the queen cell, we put it up here in this box. So we wouldn't have to go all the way down. I think we found it in the second box, the middle box now. I think that's what we found.
The bottom box.
It was bottom, but maybe, I don't know. But anyway, we could have left that down there. That means when you and I came back or we came back, we would have had to take all that other apart just to get to that one. So that's why we done it the way we did. We put that up here. And when R and I came back that Sunday, all we had to do was pop the lid and take that one frame out, put it over in the box. And I keep say this because I said enough. You've got to make sure they have nurse beads on. And now the nurse beads don't wear the little pad and the shoes. They don't wear name tags either. But you got to watch and see what their job is. Most of them are taking care of group. Most of them are being nurse beads. But this is what I was saying, what fascinated me when we came back, they had closed up that queen. That queen cell was up here, it was 4 days. They had closed it up. I mean, it was moving on, ready to go.
The little rack that you put between that top box and the second one, was that?
The metal?
The metal.
Yeah.
Keep the queen from going down?
Right. No, they keep the queen coming up.
Oh,
That's
Mr.
the
Queen,
queen
honey, that-
excluded.
Yeah.
Some of us old guys like me, we call those honey excluded. We believe that the bees don't bring in enough honey, but the bees can get through that thing. They pass through that thing just like the air. They don't have to worry about it. But, and that was made strictly for the queen because of the egg sac. You know, let me show y'all the dance.
Yes.
But anyway, the queen can't get through there because she got a lot of junk in her trunk. She can't get up through there, you know. So this part holds her back. But now that's the other thing. Drones can't get through it either. So that's why a lot of times during the mating season or whatever you want to call it, we make sure we take those out because we don't know where we know where she is, but we want the drones to be able to get through. I've caught swarms, and that's my smart way of doing it. I don't have time, you know, if I don't know how much swarm they got left in them, and what I mean by that, bees usually eat enough food, so when they swarm, we call that a wet swarm, but usually 4 days, they've eaten enough food to last them 4 days, which they need to find a home within that time. As they become a dry swarm, they're hungry and they get meaner. So if I'm not sure when they swarm, I would take that queen excluder and put it on the bottom. I put that new swarm that I just caught, I put it in a box like this, and I take that queen excluder and put it on the bottom and put the bottom board there and everything else. Now, the other bees can go out and do whatever they want to do, but the queen can't get out and go with them. So they're gonna come back to the box and stay, or they'll go out and come back. So that's one of the ways to keep. I do it the fast way. I want to keep that swarm. I'll do it, but you got to remember to come back and take that queen excluder off. Say after about 2 or 3 days, 4 days, and you notice that the bees are really living there. They haven't. And sometimes she'll start to lay in that swarm. She'll start to lay. If you see that happening, they have made this their home. Make sure you take that off because a lot of the drones, if you come there, you see their big heads. That's the only thing that's still in that metal. The rest of the body, they'll rot it off. So please take that queen excluder off. That's just something I do. I don't know if anybody else does, but like I said, being a commercial guy, everything I was doing, I had to hurry. I didn't have time to wait. So I don't have, sometimes you can put them in there like that and you go away, you come back the next day, and your swarm is in the bush, right? They've already left. All right. So those are the things that.
I have lots of swarms.
Yeah. And she put them in a box. She put them in a
I
box.
put them in boxes, they don't work.
Put them in jail.
I have a lot of
And
swarm
then
experience.
they're
in my
gone.
farm.
Then they're gone. But that's one of the ways to keep swarming is make sure the queen can't get out. You don't need, what's she gonna get out for?
This one.
For the time she's born, from the time the queen's born, I'm going into something else now, but from the time the queen is born until the time she dies, she's never alone. Even when she's going on her mating flight, they follow behind, they run behind that little children. Where you going? Where you going?
She died.
Right. But anyway, the queen is never alone. Yes.
So, and maybe you already talked about this, but how did you know that it was safe to take that supersede cell and move it to a new hive as opposed to leaving it in there so that there would be a new queen for the existing hive? Like, how did you know what to do?
What I want to do. I'm grown. No, that's a good question. Basically, it's feel, it's intuition with me, but it's also by me reading the hive. That's reading the hive and knowing what to do. Now, like I said, I was seeing plenty of eggs and brood as I come up through, and I couldn't understand why they trying to supersede. So what I'm
So
doing,
the existing queen was still laying.
yeah, she was still laying well. You know, she didn't, to me, I'll watch and see if there's spotty brood. That'd be, see, usually that queen will fill up a frame all on one side, all eggs. She may miss one or two. Now, if it go to getting, I saw a lot of hatch, a lot of places with bees that hatched out. That was another good sign. So that's one of the reasons they were nice and thick. But one of the things is when I saw that queen cell there, it made me think, well, what's going on? So now I said, well, we're gonna take it out and use it. Now, as you said, we could have done that too. We could have left it because it was a superseded cell. We could have left it, figuring that other queen is getting old, she's gonna be superseded. And superseded basis, not you, I was gonna say be usurped, but that's not. A lot of times she's already old. And when the pheromones go down like that, I think I explained that too. The bad thing about that is all the female bees do have ovaries, but they don't have anything to connect to a male. There's nothing to connect to a male. And the other thing is, it comes out as a stinger. A laying worker will lay them on the side and all this kind of stuff and everything else. And they can only lay drones because, as I said, they have nothing to connect to a male. So all males come from unfertilized eggs. So if you see an overabundance of drones and you don't see any brood or egg in there, you're more likely you got a laying worker. But that was a decision that you make when you're looking at it.
Yeah.
Ara is cheap. She don't like to spend money.
That's true.
So she says,
Absolutely.
let's
true.
make another hive.
Let's make it.
Yeah, we're gonna take this sale and we're gonna make another hive.
I was
So I
like,
mean, that's a good deal.
I'm ready, I wanna do some more.
Right.
But so I would also assume though, in that, once you've taken that cell out, if the hive really needs another queen, they'll make another queen, right?
Right.
Like
They'll
they'll be
make
another.
another superseded.
Yes,
cell.
yeah, it'll be another
Yeah.
supersede.
That's another extension on there. It's good. We can go back and check that hive now and make it see if she's still getting weak. Like I said, we're gonna find another queen cell in there.
Yeah.
Because she's still laying and there's an egg in there under 24 hours old. There's an egg in there. It's standing on its end. But I gotta tell this thing too. But anyway, they started feeding that egg royal jelly, and instead of 3 days, normally bees get 3 days of royal jelly, but the queen, all the eggs are the same, but the one egg that's gonna get more than 3 days, that's gonna start turning into a queen. And the larvae in there. And so I think I told this once before in this same class, but we were learning how to graft. And what grafting is, it's got this little needle for grafting. It's not a needle, but a little thing like you pick the dentist go in your mouth and pick your teeth with. Again, dentists tell you, don't pick your teeth with sharp things. And you go to the dentist and the first thing he do is start picking your mouth with something sharp and hard. But anyway, somebody I know had that thing. So we was looking for an egg that could be grafted. And they gotta be a tiny thing, and it's standing on the skin and you wanna go in and it's got a little scoop on the end and you got to come out like that and take it out. Because you don't want to rock that thing. You want to keep it because it do have, like, I guess it's like a umbilical cord that's not the right word. But anyway, it's connected. And if you turn it too much, that royal jelly can drown it. Okay, you kill it. Well, this person went in there and you're looking for something real tiny now. You got a magnifying glass. You need a magnifying glass, baby, to see it, to get it. This person didn't have a magnifying glass.
I was
They
protecting
went in
my
and-
technique. I was perfecting my technique.
They went in that sale and they pulled out something the size of a bull constrictor.
My technique.
So, but, you know, that's a good class that, you know, as we go further in the year, I would love to bring somebody in that, I got several people, we belong to the Born and Bred, craft. And that makes better queens because you don't have to worry about the Africanized, things like that. The bees that I'm talking about, we got a great set of bees. There's no chemicals, no disease in them. And the thing about them is I was just in them a couple of days ago. I saw no hive beetles, no varroa mite. It smelled good. The queen is very prolific. There was eggs everywhere. Now that's the kind of queen you want to grab from. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. That's what your genetic behavior. There's no disease in that box and all that stuff. So that queen got great genes. I want to grab from her, any egg from her and start the bees to making a queen cell. So now you can do this. You can take a graft from over here and put it in a frame in the other box. But you got to make sure you got some nurse bees on either side. So now from this box, I would take a frame of nurse bees and I would put it near that graft. I would take another frame of nurse bees and put it near that graft. But this is what we're going to say. We're going to make sure that hive is going to be queenless. They're going to build their own queen. And that's when you go to seeing queen cell. And hopefully your graft is going to be turned into that. So all of those queens because on those other frames too, all of those bees came from that great queen. They had good genetics. That's the way you rear queens, you raise queens, that's fine. But I mean, that went into a long answer, but it's good. Okay.
Let's put the high top back on. Now, we didn't put any more, what's the name, but that's all right, you don't need,
Which
you don't need.
the stuff was done, so.
Yeah.
The
That
AP
one
guard?
was done. Come on, the AP guard, there you go.
So this one we want to push all the way to the front.
This one,
Okay, yeah, that one can be, yeah,
It's for ventilation. It's not on all the way.
there you go. Then
And
you put
push.
little, wait. There you go, now that's closed, that's open. All right. Then you put a brick on it.
All right.
Okay, guys, thank you for your patience and tolerating us. I had several good helpers, which I'll never use again. Chip Larson, you gotta say his name yourself. I don't want to stand up here and introduce you guys.
Chip Larkin, Lucas Barini.
And the
Era
camera
Sunbaum.
woman.
Why so loud?
That went really well. I tell you what time, let's let everybody a little bit break.
All right, it's 4:22. We're gonna take about a 10-minute break.
4:32. Return at 4:32 for Smith's. Okay, audio.
We'll return at 4:32.
All that stuff too. And most of the drones, not drones, most of the eggs that are in there, some of the bees won't feed it in the house. So it can lower your population. That's why you do it the amount of days that they tell you to stop. Don't do it long. Don't leave it in there. Take it out. What was the other thing I was saying that, but look, after those jobs, but oh, here's the thing too, and I forgot to tell you guys this. I think I've told it so many times, a lot of people don't believe it, but that's another thing with the miracle of bees is that the queen can control, she can't control linear time. You know, to take, you know, minute by minute by minute by minute. But since these bees go through a division of labor, you're now at the age where you're ready to move on to be a guard bee. Oh, no, not guard. You're ready to move on to forage. He lets off a pheromone to say, you're not old enough. So you'll stay inside, keep doing what she needs you to do. You won't go out and forage. So she can control your time. But linear time, you still clicking, you know, you're not doing it. But that's the miracle in the beehive.
It's 4:35.
Oh, did everybody listen to me?
No, I just turned it back on just now,
Oh, okay.
but you were talking about the miracle of beehive, so
Yeah.
you didn't say anything.
Well, go back to that picture. Lynette has a great question on that picture.
Can I ask another question?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Yeah, yes, you can. Ask me any question.
The other day. when I
Don't,
was
don't
out-
worry, you haven't gotten to the amount of questions I've asked. You're good.
Go ahead.
The other day I was, out there watching our bee.
Mhm.
And I don't know whether I was too close or what, but in the small hive, I hardly didn't see any of them. All of a sudden, all of them came out. What was that for? I mean,
They either smelled you or heard you. I mean, I hate to use
Or
that term,
felt.
heard you, or felt you. Maybe you stepped on a stick or something, because they feel vibration. They're deaf. They don't.
well, I was on the lawnmower.
Oh, that's why.
I was way from them though. You know,
Yeah, they can hear that.
so they
I hear
all
you.
came out all of a sudden. I said, well, I turned that down.
What's that? You know it. Everybody that deals with RPMs and all that stuff,
Yeah.
they know about that. And there's that other term that's called hertz. But
Mhm.
all right, that they can feel that quick.
They know when
A
storms are
weed
coming.
eater, if you look at the decibels they put out by a weed eater, a lawnmower, even a hair dryer, it kicks out enough sound that bees feel it, and so they feel it, and that's when they will brace their attack.
They were getting ready to attack.
When they rush out like that.
I mean, they came out quick too.
Just like with thunderstorms. Explain thunderstorms.
Now, thunderstorms are terrible. I've been around bees so long that all these things I heard about over the years, but I've experienced them now. I was working bees over in Martin County, and I went there that morning. The bees were sweet. I mean, they were like singing praises in my name, patting me on the head as I went by, telling me, "Oh, I love you. You're doing the right thing." I went to lunch at McDonald's in Williamston. Came back, the sky was deep purple over there, and I could see these little streaks of lightning hit places way off now. Man, I opened that first hive. They were no longer singing praises in my name. All the bees swooped right on me. And come to think of it, I was requeening at the time, so I don't like to use smoke when I requeen because that'll start her to run. So I didn't want her running. So when I opened it up, I mean, they got all of my gloves, everything, and right in my, I mean, like I had just kicked the box or something. But it's like what's happening to them in that box because they're passing by each other, they're rubbing up against each other. Well, it's like you walking across the floor, doing on the floor with socks on. When you touch that metal or touch somebody else, you get shocked. But that's what's going on in there today. And that's why they get evil, if you want to call it. That's why they tell you, don't work bees in overcast. Don't work bees, especially if there's a thunderstorm way off. If you can see the lightning, they can feel it. So
it's like it's putting a static electricity.
that electricity. And you know, they're all little hairy people. So that's what goes on.
Yeah, I was planning to check my bees on Sunday and he texted me, he's like, "How are your bees doing?" I said, "Well, I'm not going in there today."
Yeah.
So I said, "They're going in and out. I check them every day. They're by my driveway. I drive by them every day. I check them, the new ones, the ones that we got from this. And then the other ones, those ones are fine. but I said, no, I'm not going in there today because it was really overcast.
So, a few weeks ago, we had those shelf clouds. The clouds were really, really bad and they looked terrible. So could the bees feel,
If there's electricity in it, well, something too big to talk. I get out of clips of that back. But anyway, if there's static electricity, it will affect it. Now, another thing too. If it's kind of cool, I mean, it's all right. I like to work bees early morning, but sometimes if you work bees midday, 2, 3 o'clock. You know, I tell you, a lot of the bees are not working in the field, now they home. Some of them haven't forgotten their job, but they don't know how to do the job they were doing before they went out to be foraging. So now, while you in the hive, all the majority of the bees are home. And most of those foragers start attacking you
is that year round?
all the time. But except now in the winter months. It's just knowing what to do when you go in there and what you see. Those are the things. A lot of times, and this is not to my expertise, this is how long I've been going around it. I walked in bee yards, you can smell the disease in there. You can see I've seen bees doing things that now I know what they were doing, I didn't know. I saw a bunch of bees hanging on the outside of the hive. I think, oh man, I just caught a swarm. You know, another swarm had landed on this box with just that many bees. But that wasn't the case. What the case was, there was hive beetles in there and pests, and the bees that came on the outside. And before I could get back, they left. So I said, oh, they gone. So I'm going in and look at the other, look at the rest of it. There was really nothing in there but slime and not maggots, but the larvae of hive beetle. Hive beetle larvae eat bee larvae. And it's all slimy. It's shiny. So that's what I'm saying. These things you'll see. She's getting a good experience now. She said her bees keep leaving. There's a reason why, and I think I see the reason why right now.
Why?
No.
When you say leave.
Abscond. She had quite a few abscondents. That's right. I just made that word up. I think.
Huh? Well, here's the thing. There's a common denominator between here and in my house. These ones are okay. They don't leave. It's my ones in my farm. They like to go into the woods next door and
We gotta find what's in there.
wild bee population. But when they all left the first time last year, like they left, I had no beehives on my property. I was like, okay, I may quit, I may not, I may try again. But after, we saw bees all over the place all the time. I didn't have them in the hives. They're somewhere in the woods, but there's a lot of them.
This is kind of a laid back class today, but we still trying to keep it in order. Good. But anyway, we just had another person, John. Good.
Hi, Terry.
Yeah, great, Terry. How you doing? Glad you came. One thing I want to do, Terry, is that all of these are behaviors that you're gonna get on a daily basis. She said something too a while ago. She was talking about how she drive by her bees. I run a thing where I ride a trail. That's how I check my bees. A lot of my bees I just do drive by. They're flying and looking good. I'm not gonna go in. There's no need to go in. But if a hive, like you said, it was heavy the last time you saw it, when I say heavy, bees were everywhere, and you come back and you barely see anything, you need to stop and check. What I was talking about too with the bricks and sticks and things that I use to communicate with myself. Like I'll go in a hive and I'll need to do something, but I don't have the equipment on my truck and I don't have time to do it. If I get a bunch of dirt or something put on top, I'll put a stick or a rock on it. And that's a promise. I'm letting the bees know I'm coming back. But most of my promises I don't keep. When I do get back, I don't know what did I promise these bees, but I know I need to do something in there. I'm up short
It's like
frames.
a legend.
Yeah.
You know, a stick means you need to, add more frames. And
The
a pile of dirt.
I need a legend. I need a legend. What do it mean? Because I don't, I'll reach up and break a limb and put in there, put on there, and something like that. But, and I tell you, a good thing you said about add frame, I put that promise on there because I run out of frames this size. And I only got the shallow. That's why I got rid of all the extra, I had shallows, medium, and deeps. I just run two types now. I run deeps and medium. That's it. But I would get out there and I only got these little, I got these little frames. I would put some of those in there just to keep bee space. And I put that promise that I'm gonna change and put this in there. 3 weeks go by, I still haven't been by. Then I come back, they have built comb from there all the way to here, and it's a pure mess in that box. You just
Barry
gotta tear it all
sold me a
apart.
box like that. I went in there, I was like, what the heck is this? It was a short frame in there.
That's a
I
promise.
was like, he short sheeted me.
No, that's a promise. But anyway, that's what you gotta do. You gotta remember what you're doing. The more hives you gotta remember what you're doing. You gotta be able to read your hive. When I tell people I can't raise your bees for you, that's what I really mean. I can't raise your bees. These things you gotta feel, you gotta understand, you gotta read. And as you're getting great experience. You're getting great experience. Chip, on the other hand, he's getting strong. That's good. We were talking about this here, this frame. Lynette has some questions about this. As you can see, this is what I was telling you. The day that we found this, you see it, see the opening right here? That's what we found, but we left that in that top box. So we came back that Sunday, like I said, it was 4 days later. We came back that Sunday. This was closed up. I was very happy to see that because now I know those bees, plus the bees that was in the bottom, there's bees down there. And that's the other thing about bees. Bees don't care who the children are, they'll take care of them. You can take nurse bees and you can bring a whole nother swarm in and put in there, and it's got eggs and things in. The nurse bees are gonna take care of them. They don't care who kids they are. But this worked out great. Now, I knew, and I think this one was still open a little bit, so I know she's gonna be born first. She's gonna come out first, and then, like I say, I better not say anything like it's super that, but being a female, she comes out first. She's slick. She kicks off the sound. These other females that are still in their house, they start making noise too, clicking, as they say, piping. He goes over each way they have to kill them.
That's another one in the back.
Yeah, that's gonna be one. Man, I think that's gonna. I don't know. if
I was like, unalive. Unalive is the
But
word.
the first queen born will kill any other. They would. And look, then she lets off a pheromone and let them know to tear this house down. They're gonna tear this down.
So what did she do? Excuse me. No, what did she do? How did she get into the other?
Chew. Because remember now, it's over 92 degrees in there, so that beeswax is a little bit soft. Remember we were talking about the mandibular jaw, but now a queen got a stinger. But a queen stinger is like a hypodermic needle. Sting. She only stings other queens. And so that's what she'll do. She'll chew a hole in that and she'll shove her stinger in and kill that. And once she kill it, the other bees will tear it down, throw the would-be queen out the door. And that's what can happen when you, what I was saying a while ago, when you're trying to raise these queens. If you don't keep everything right on time, where all of them are starting to hatch out around about the same time, that one that hatches out first will kill every other graft you got in there.
So can you actually hear that clicking? Is that something that?
Yeah, it's an actual sound. I've never heard it, but I know that it does actual sound. It's called piping, and they call it clicking and piping and stuff like that. The queens do it. Those ones that are just about to be born, they do it because they're fully formed. But they also, I mean, some people can tell it. I can't. They look like regular bees to me when they're born. They don't get that size with the egg sac until they mate it.
So.
I want to tell you something.
I have a question.
Okay, bees have been around a long time, and they've always been around faith-based organizations, cathedrals, the royalty, all this kind of stuff. Bees have always been done with that. And you can tell in some of the languages that are used still today, what do you call a swarm? Now, we call it a drone swarm. Now, that's one of the things, China, isn't it on there? We're not gonna tell that, but anyway, there's a thing, and they call it a drone swarm. That's when all the drones get together and they're on date night. But what's this called? congregating.
It's a congregation.
Why can't you tell us?
Cause I wouldn't want to, I want you guys to know. But say it, Terry had an idea. You had it. Terry had, it. It's called a congregation. It's called a congregation. It's like a church.
Good job, Terry.
They're going to church.
I didn't know
They're at church. They're at church. They're not going to the club, they're heading to the church. And the other way to church, we met this young girl. So right, that's what happened. But when the males go out, a drone swarm is known as a congregation. So there's a lot of things you hear about around the hive, words you can run across, and a lot of them have, I guess you want to call it religious connotation, or you said, well, I heard that word used for this or that. But that's why it comes like that. Go ahead, you had a question.
So you said that if you're making queens and you gotta keep an eye on them and it'll go kill all your other queens, why don't they separate them?
You can't.
Why not?
Hold on.
Like build little,
You keep, well, no, you go, that's why I say, look, doing your grafting where she's finding boa constrictors, all of those grafts are done on the same day. Okay, now that's a quick answer. All those are done on the same day. All those eggs are right around the same age. They all gonna grow out about the same time.
why can't you separate them somehow?
No, it doesn't work that way.
Why not?
It does because of the timing.
Okay,
Hold
what
on,
I'm
hold
trying to
on.
get you to understand is all of them are gonna be born right around the same time.
Yeah.
So now what you gotta do is go back and take those cells out. If you don't, and one of them is born before the other, she's gonna kill everything else in there.
Who's gonna be the strongest one?
Yeah, I know that, but why can't they make some kind of equipment?
I'm trying to produce 25 queens at a time.
You want the best queen.
Oh, okay, so you don't care that you're not just
But
trying to
on
make
the
a
graft,
bunch.
you're trying to graft 25 queens. But remember, you're doing all this, and it's not something you can do slowly. But you're trying to do all this. And that's why I say all of these things, you gotta hit those points. If it tells you 3 days, you need to do this, you need to do that. Or you'll wind up with a box full of drones. Right?
So how's the queen cell made?
Oh, they build this.
The
The bees build this.
workers,
They build that. Any wax producers, they build that. And what happens with that, like I said, once there's no pheromone.
Don't be.
There's no pheromone from the queen. And the bees said, well, we gotta make a queen, so they look for a egg that's no older than 24 hours old. Okay, the bees know this. So they'll start feeding that egg royal jelly. And then they'll start making it. And look, did you see how this one bee didn't do all of this? That's done by different bees. That once they get that pheromone, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna build queen. So basically, you created a queen building hive. I understand what you're asking. You created a queen building hive, and what you said will happen. They will destroy, one queen will destroy all of those. But look, all of them are about to be born at the same time. You know, maybe you grafted this one at 12:01, you grafted this one at 12:15. See what I'm talking about? So they're not gonna be born just like that, right? With each other, but they're gonna be born close. So those are already pythons. When she's born, these are pythons.
Yeah.
So she'll kill all of those.
Yeah.
But if you're not there, that's what I'm trying to get you.
Why
to
can't
say.
you make a equipment?
They're gonna go, yeah, they got, okay. Okay, what's
So
that?
it's more than its own little house.
All right, right. Okay, that's possible. What I'm telling you is, you're gonna go and you're gonna take all those queen cells that have been closed up, and then you're gonna put them in a nuke. So you got those little boxes. You're gonna put those 25, you're gonna have 25 of those little boxes. And then you're gonna put those in a bee yard where there are males. You gotta have a good drone population around. So you're gonna put them, you got what we call
So they have one for each new.
you put one in each nuke. Now, when you take that in these different yards, that's where you're gonna come up with a whole hive, or you're gonna come up with a queen. Now, look, this is what you can do. That queen, Richard called me and said, Barry, do you have a queen for sale? Yes, I do. Now, she done hatched out. I done tested her. She's laying. It'll been made. And she's laying. That's when I can sell her to Richard. Okay? You run an actual business raising queens. So you got,
Don't worry,
yeah.
I'm not gonna be doing this.
Oh, that's my plan. That's my plan. Well,
I'm working.
You're
I
gonna
guess I
do it?
wasn't- I guess I wasn't explaining it right, because I haven't got all it down yet, but that's what you're planning on doing. That's why you try to get as many grafts as you can and get them started. Those grafts start, they go on a frame that's gonna go in a queenless hive. The nurse bees are going to finish raising those grafts. So there's no pheromone, so they said there's no queen. They got all these new eggs you just put in there that's less than 24 hours old. They're gonna start building queen cells. So you know all your grafts gonna be about ready about the same time. Then as they become cells like this, that's when you can pull all them out. You got 25 of them like this. Now you're gonna take those and put them in a single box with some more nurse bees and everything else. Those nurse bees are gonna finish raising them. And well, she's not a queen to be sold yet. That is a virgin queen. Once she's made it and she's back and she's laying eggs in that new box, that's when I can tell Richard, I got some queens over here you can buy.
Or you can sell them.
Yeah, you can do that too. That's what it's all a business. But as you can see in there, there's the white larva, like I said, there's the royal jelly and all of that. But it makes, I mean, it may sound,
I had to get the equipment ready and we need to come back. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this up there. And so we don't have to go so deep.
Okay.
When we come back.
and that's exactly what
Good in there.
Yeah, and that's exactly, now, a lot of times, I've been in high where you got swarm cells, you got supersedure cells and all that. Somebody didn't get the message. But you'll have all those. But remember, now as a commercial guy, I was going fast. I really didn't have time for that. A lot of times I just kill it. Get out. I crush it, kill it. But each time I did that, I was costing myself money. But see, my problem was I didn't have time for her to go and make it. I didn't have time for this. The reason I didn't have time for that, now remember, she's a virgin queen. She got to go out and get mated, and then she got to get back to that box. Birds, frogs, trucks going down the highway. There's a lot of things you have there while she get back in that box, till she get back in that box. She can even go, especially if she's in a yard where there's that hive is in a yard where there's other bees, she can go in the wrong box, and they're gonna kill her just like that. You see, so there's a lot of things that can happen.
Hopefully she's not a dummy and goes in the other box.
She better do what she can.
So there's so we have a question there of who really runs the hive? The
Yeah.
bees or really the queen?
Well, the school of thought is the queen is not in charge. That's the way it's taught. That's the right answer on the question. Well, be on the test.
The queen is not.
The queen is not in charge. Okay. Just like, we've heard the story about no native bees in the United States. We've heard that. That's the correct answer on the test, but you and I both know that's not true. That's not. So, I always thought, Dr. Ambrose even taught me that way. I thought the queen was the most important thing there, but she's not.
She's not in charge. The carpenter bees, do they bother with the honeybees? Those carpenter bees?
Not really. The biggest thing is, we don't have that many, but it's been around a long time. That's why I told you, it bothers me when I hear the news media try to make things out of something that's nothing. These, killer hornets. They've been around as long as I can remember. The bald-faced hornet is a Japanese hornet. They got 3 dots up here on their head. They've always killed bees. Even when I was a boy, they was out. But all of a sudden now, hey, you got killer hornets. They're showing pictures of them this size. Probably one of them grafts the China done. That's where the killer hornets come from. But anyway,
But they don't want to bother them.
but no. Skunks eat bees. Bears eat bees. Frogs eat bees. Especially if you're putting bees down near a field that there's a big ditch, you want to be careful because frogs eat bees. Another thing you can watch too back there, your bees, anybody can watch. Watch how many, and yours too. Watch how many dragonflies come around. Dragonflies can catch bees right in mid. A bee flying along, a dragonfly can pick them right up. They're about the only creature that I know. Dragonflies eat bees.
I've seen dragonfly eating a hornet.
Yeah, they can catch them. They just that fast and maneuver. They can catch a bee in mid-flight. Dragonfly. I mean, they can catch that. Dragonfly can catch a hornet. They eat it. So those are the reasons. Go ahead.
So who is in charge? If the queen's not in charge,
Nurse Steve.
who's actually in charge?
I think the workers, to me, it's the workers. Because really, the workers, if she's not laying up the park, they're gonna let out a pheromone, let them know start another queen. I used to think that the queen, when she started breaking down, that she would tell them, hey, you need another queen, but no. By the pheromones that she let off, she's not letting off pheromone, so the worker bees know that. They know, but hey, where's she at?
So it's really kind of the hive as a whole really is sort of in charge of itself. I guess, right?
Well, yeah. The hive basically is a mini city. It runs itself. It's as far as temperature, as far as feeding, as far as policing itself, for taking care of the queen, as far as you name it. Even funerals, they have funerals. They a bee dies in the hive. They take that bee out. They take them down to the mortuary. They pay the funeral fee. And then they bring them back, they put them in the hearse, they go to the family's house, they sit down, they eat, and then they take the bee, walk real slow, and they take them right to the entrance, and they throw them out. Oh, really? Bees clean up, bees, I mean, really. So they got morticians in here, funeral directors. I mean, they got that in here, they got the police in here, the guard bees. You got bees that bring in the water. You got bees that, like I said, take out the trash, everything. This is a mini city in here. And if one thing get out of place, it destroys it. That's like disease and everything else. There's a balance in here. But no, the queen's not in charge. She's, she can do all these things, but they still can control it. Just like going out. When we get, and I've seen this, when they get ready to swarm, they stop feeding her. It's a girl. Have you seen them hips lately? You got to calm down. So they'll slow down feeding her. So she can lose some weight, so she can fly. But now the queen, she's kind of hard-headed. She used to being in the house. She's not trying to go anywhere. Now that's the difference between an Africanized queen and a domestic European queen. These are European queen. She'll stay. An Africanized queen do her job, and then she will go out and take over another domestic hive. She'll go in and kill that queen, and within, I'll say, give her first laying. Most of the progeny in there gonna be Africanized. But anyway, so she don't want to go. So the bees will fly out. You'll see them. You see it. Most people, and you can hear it. So, you hear that. You're out there swarm. They'll go out. They'll wait a few seconds and she ain't come. They'll go back in. They like. I mean, even though it's female, how you go get in the car and you wait for her to come out so y'all go to church. Then you go back out. When you gonna come? Come on, let's go. So they go back and do that, but that don't happen. So the other bees now, they said, it's time for you to go. They're in the hive. We're waiting on her to go so they can go. Well, she haven't left yet, so they'll push her out. And that's one of the things they still offer it. They sell you, you can buy a queen with her wings clipped. They said that prevents swarming. Yeah, it do. But they didn't know that they will push her out. So if she don't have any wings, it's not like not having a parachute. She gonna jump out of this plane, they're gonna push her out.
Probably.
Yeah, there you go. So, but that's what happened. People used to buy queens to clip, but that was one of the problems where you lose clip queens. And bees also, like a lot of animals, they recognize deformity. If they consider her deformed, they'll kill her. So how a lot of animals will separate and sick, whatever. But anyway, how's my time?
It's time's up.
Time's up.
It's 5 something.
Anybody got any questions about it? Please let Ira know if you want to be tested so we can go ahead and get this set up so we can have our review. But really, this is the last day.
Ira will be sending out an email for those that do want to be tested. I love you, Ira.
Yeah.
And we'll go ahead
We'll
and set that up. We'll go ahead and set that up. And I hope this has been beneficial to you, whether you want to or not. whether you want to be tested or not, but if you want, we are offering mentoring, and we're gonna start trying to mentor in a group. But we waiting on our.
And we will have a review.
Wait on me. I
Yeah.
didn't know what you're talking about.
But definitely, those that want to be tested, let Aaron know, and then you can be tested. You can have the company will test here. And if you're away, a long ways away, and there's 2 or 3 of you a long ways away, and you guys can get together, I'll come there and test you. So there's no problem. All right? Anybody got any questions? I've enjoyed this more than you guys have. Y'all was punished because y'all had to listen to me. But I had a good time because I like working bees. My biggest job is to outsmart bees, and I've never done it. But I like doing it. I try to, I come up.
Thank you.
And I do work compliance.
We'll see you on the next time.
All right, so this is graduation day, really.
Yeah.
All right, hey, everybody been with us today. Y'all be blessed and goodbye.
All right.
All right,